Today, we're diving into the essential wisdom from psychologist Steve Biddulph's incredible guide, Raising Girls in the 21st Century. What we're going to do is break down the unique pressures girls are facing right now and give you a clear, practical map to help them grow into healthy, happy, and really powerful women. But first, we have to start with a reality check, and it's a pretty stark one. Biddulph argues that for all the progress we've made, the modern world is actually failing a lot of our daughters. This number, 1 in 5, that represents the girls who, as he puts it, don't go well. It's a statistic that really sets the stage for why this conversation is so incredibly urgent.
And this quote just hits you, doesn't it? It really sets the stakes. Biddulph isn't talking about the normal ups and downs of growing up. He is sounding an alarm here. He's saying a huge number of girls are facing struggles that could have lifelong consequences. And that's why understanding this is just absolutely critical.
So, if we're going to tackle this, we first have to understand the landscape. Let's start by digging into the specific challenges that Biddulph says are pretty much unique to being a girl today.
And this isn't some abstract, faraway problem. Biddulph points out that things that used to be really rare, like severe anxiety or eating disorders, are now in practically every classroom. It's gotten to the point where schools are basically in emergency response mode, building these well-being centers just to handle a crisis that's affecting, as he puts it so well, just sweet, wonderful kids.
But look, this explainer isn't just about the problem. Not at all. It's about the solution. So now, let's explore Biddulph's really positive framework for development, what he calls the map of girlhood.
Okay, this is the core of his guide right here. He breaks down a healthy girlhood into 5 essential stages, and each one is defined by a really fundamental question she needs to answer. It all starts with security. Am I loved and safe? Then it moves to exploring. Is this world fun? Then comes people skills, finding her unique spark, and finally discovering her soul, her deeper purpose. And what's so important is that each stage builds on the last one. You can't skip a step. To really bring this to life, Biddulph uses this powerful comparison of 2 mornings. You've got Carrie, whose morning is filled with nature, connection, family breakfast. And then you have Carla, whose morning is all about a blaring alarm clock, stress, and pressure. The takeaway here is huge. These small, everyday things, many of which we as parents can actually control, they all add up and end up shaping a girl's entire experience of the world.
Now, this is a letter Biddulph wrote from the perspective of a teenage girl to her dad. And wow, is it powerful? It just perfectly captures what's really going on inside a teenager's brain, that it's literally rewiring itself. It's a construction zone. And it's such a great reminder that what a girl needs most from her dad during this crazy time isn't criticism. It's just gentle patience and knowing he's got her back, no matter what.
So, keeping that vulnerable brain state in mind, let's turn to the unique challenges of our time. Biddulph calls it a modern minefield for girls, and that's exactly what it is. These are the outside forces that can completely disrupt those healthy stages of development we just talked about.
He really zeroes in on 4 big dangers. First, the online world, everything from cyberbullying to truly dark websites. Then there's the whole too sexy too soon culture that pushes girls to grow up way too fast. Add to that the relentless media obsession with an impossible body image. And finally, there are even unseen threats, like chemicals such as BPA and plastics, that can actually mess with their development.
And here's a piece of data that should stop us all in our tracks. The research is becoming undeniable. That sharp, terrifying rise in teen mental health crises, it's not random. It directly, and I mean exactly, correlates with the explosion of smartphone ownership. The link between being constantly connected and a decline in well-being is it's too powerful to ignore.
And this number really drives home the scale of just one of those dangers we mentioned, 15%. That is a staggering number. It means roughly 1 in every 7 girls and women will experience an eating disorder. This isn't a small problem. It's a massive epidemic, and it's being fueled by these constant cultural pressures about how they're supposed to look.
So, when you're faced with this minefield, how in the world do you equip a girl to navigate it? Well, this brings us to one of Biddulph's most profound solutions, helping a girl find and nurture her soul.
Now, when Biddulph says soul, he's not getting all mystical on us. He defines it as the core essence of who a person is, their values, their true self. It's that inner strength that keeps them grounded. He uses this great analogy of a tree with deep roots. It's what keeps them steady when the storms of life inevitably hit. So how do we actually cultivate that? Biddulph makes it really simple. He contrasts activities that build soul,
Things like being creative just for the fun of it or having quiet time to think, with those that can actually harm it, like too much screen time, just passively watching stuff, and that feeling of constant pressure to perform.
Okay, this brings us to the most important part. What can we actually do? Our final section is all about a practical toolkit with real actionable steps.
Right, this is the crucial question. Knowing all the problems in the theory is one thing, but how do we translate that into real action in our own homes, like tonight?
Biddulph offers some incredibly clear and powerful strategies. First, set firm tech boundaries. A big one is no devices in bedrooms overnight, and that goes for the whole family. Second, model the behavior you want to see. Your calm becomes her calm. Third, prioritize real offline connection. Think family meals with the TV off. And finally, actively support her spark, that one unique interest that gives her confidence and a whole other group of friends.
And for any parent out there who thinks their daughter will just completely rebel against these rules, listen to this quote from an actual 15-year-old. She basically admits she couldn't have broken her social media habit on her own and was actually grateful her parents stepped in. It's such a crucial reminder that our kids often want and even need these boundaries, even if they can't set them for themselves. We're going to end with this really powerful thought from the book. The work of raising a strong, centered girl isn't just for today, it's a legacy. The strength, the kindness, the soul that you help her build becomes a gift that she will carry forward and one day pass down through the generations. It's just a profound reminder of why all of this matters so much.